I watched from across the street as the tow truck hook lifted her brand new Mercedes SUV. She was screaming at the Repo Man, waving a piece of paper. She spotted me, ran over, and tried to slap me. The officer caught her wrist mid-swing. I just smiled, held up the forensic report, and said, "You didn't sell the house, Brenda. You just sold yourself a 10-year prison sentence." I buried my father 3 months ago. He was a good man, a hard worker, and the only family I really had left. My mother passed when I was young, and Dad raised me alone until I was 15. That's when he met Brenda. Brenda, 55F, came with baggage. Specifically, her son, my stepbrother, Kyle, 26M. Kyle is the type of guy who peaked in high school, refuses to work, and thinks the world owes him a living because he has anxiety whenever an employer asks him to actually do his job. When Dad got sick last year, Brenda was present. I'll give her that. But I noticed things. Dad's watch went missing. His vintage coin collection got lost during a cleaning. I didn't say anything because Dad loved her, and I didn't want to stress him out in his final months. After the funeral, the mask slipped off completely. We were sitting in the living room of the house Dad built. It's a nice property, 4 bedrooms, big lot, fully paid off. Probably worth about $650,000 in today's market. Brenda looked at me, fake tears instantly drying up, and said, "We need to talk about living arrangements. Kyle and his girlfriend are going to take the master bedroom. You can stay in the guest room for a month until you find an apartment." I stared at her. "Brenda, this is my house. Dad left it to me. We talked about this 1,000 times. She smirked. A literal, villainous smirk. "Well, honey, things change. Your father signed a quitclaim deed 3 weeks before he died. He transferred the title to me. He wanted to make sure his wife was taken care of." She pulled a document out of her purse. It looked official. It had a notary stamp. And there, at the bottom, was my father's signature. Except, it wasn't. My father had a tremor in his hand from the medication he was on. His signature for the last 6 months was shaky, almost illegible. The signature on this deed was smooth, sweeping, and perfect. Exactly how he signed things 10 years ago. I knew right then. She traced it from an old document. I stood up. I didn't yell. I didn't fight. I channeled every ounce of my father's patience. I said, "Okay, Brenda, if that's what Dad wanted." She looked surprised it was that easy. "Good. I'm glad you're being reasonable. Pack your things." I walked out. I didn't pack. I went straight to my car, drove to a hotel, and called the best probate attorney in the state. My lawyer, let's call him Mr. Wolf, told me to sit tight. He pulled the county records. Sure enough, the deed had been filed 2 days after the funeral. "We can fight this," Mr. Wolf said. "We can hire a handwriting expert. We can get medical records proving his hand tremor, but it will take time." "I don't just want the house back," I told him. "She stole his watch. She stole his coins. Now she's trying to steal his legacy. I want her to hurt." So, we came up with a plan. We filed a Lis Pendens on the property. For those who don't know, this is a public notice that there is a lawsuit pending regarding the title of the house. It basically freezes the property. No one in their right mind would buy a house with a Lis Pendens on it because they can't get title insurance. But here is the kicker. We didn't serve her the papers yet. In my state, you have 90 days to serve the defendant after filing. I let her think she won. For 2 months, I stayed silent. I monitored her social media. It was a goldmine. Brenda's Facebook. So blessed. Finally selling the old place and downsizing to a luxury condo. New beginnings. Kyle's Instagram. #new truck. #inheritance. #ballin'. She was listing the house. I had a friend call the real estate agent she was using. The agent was sketchy, someone who clearly didn't do their due diligence. They listed the house for $600,000 for a quick cash sale. And then she found a buyer, a property developer who wanted to flip it. They offered $580,000 cash. Brenda was seeing dollar signs. She was already spending the money before she had it. She put a down payment on an $80,000 luxury SUV. Kyle bought a motorcycle. They booked a cruise for the grieving family. The closing date was set for last Friday. I waited until Thursday afternoon. Posted 4 days ago, Thursday at 2 p.m., the day before closing. I walked into the title company's office with Mr. Wolf and 2 police officers. We asked to speak to the escrow officer handling the sale. When we showed her the Lis Pendens and the affidavit of forgery from a forensic handwriting analyst, which cost me $2,500 but was worth it, the escrow officer's face went white. "We can't close," she stammered. "The title isn't clear. And if this is fraud..." "It is fraud," the officer said. "Grand larceny and forgery." We told the title company to call Brenda and tell her there was a minor paperwork issue and that she needed to come in immediately to sign one last thing to release the funds. She showed up 20 minutes later, dressed in a black dress, looking like the grieving widow, with Kyle trailing behind her playing on his Switch. I was sitting in the conference room with the door open. When she walked in and saw me, she sneered. "What are you doing here, trying to beg for a handout?" I stood up. "No, Brenda, I'm here to watch." The police officer stepped out from the side office. "Brenda?" "Last name?" the officer asked. "Yes?" She looked confused. "You are under arrest for forgery, filing a false instrument, and attempted grand larceny." The look on her face was better than any movie I have ever seen. It was pure, unadulterated shock. "What? No! He signed it! Kyle, tell them!" Kyle looked up from his Switch, realized what was happening, and literally tried to run for the exit. The second officer grabbed him by the back of his hoodie. "Get off me!" Kyle screamed. "I didn't do anything!" "We have text messages, Kyle," I said calmly. I recovered Dad's old iPad. I saw the texts where you sent Brenda a tutorial on how to trace signatures using a lightbox. Brenda started screaming like a banshee as they handcuffed her. She looked at me, eyes bulging. "I raised you, you ungrateful brat! This is my house!" "It was Dad's house," I said, "and now it's mine again." They dragged her out. I walked over to the table where the sale documents were. The buyer, the developer, was there too. He looked furious, not at me, but at the situation. "I'm sorry for the inconvenience," I told him. "The house isn't for sale. Posted yesterday." It's been a crazy weekend. Here is the fallout. 1. The finances. Because Brenda thought the money was guaranteed, she had racked up massive debt in the last month. She put the down payments on the cars and the vacation on credit cards, expecting to pay them off with the house money. Now, she has no money. The creditors are already circling. The Mercedes dealership repossessed the SUV yesterday. That was the hook of this video. It was beautiful. 2. The house. I got the keys back from the police this morning. I walked into my childhood home. They trashed it. They had started renovations to increase the value. The kitchen cabinets were ripped out. The carpet was torn up. But they stopped halfway through. It looks like a war zone. However, I found something they missed. In the garage, hidden in a box marked trash, I found Dad's coin collection. They were too stupid to realize what it was worth and were going to throw it out. 3. The charges. The district attorney is not playing around. Because of the amount of money involved, $650,000 value, it's a Class B felony. Brenda is looking at 5 to 25 years. Kyle is being charged as an accomplice. He rolled on his mom immediately. He told the cops she forced him to help. He's trying to get a plea deal, but I told the DA I will not support any deal that doesn't involve jail time. 4. The twist. Here is the cherry on top. I found out why Brenda was so desperate. She didn't just want the money, she needed it. Apparently, she had been borrowing money from her employer's petty cash fund for years. They were auditing her next week. She needed the house money to pay back what she stole before they found out. Now, her employer knows. They are filing separate charges for embezzlement. I am currently sitting on a lawn chair in the middle of my empty living room, eating a pizza. It's quiet. The house needs a lot of work, but I have the insurance money and I have time. Most importantly, I have the truth. Dad, I saved it. Posted 2 hours ago. Small update. Brenda called me from jail. Collect. I accepted the call just to hear what she had to say. She was crying. Real tears this time. OP, please. I can't survive in here. I'm an old woman. Please drop the charges. I'll sign whatever you want. I'll give you the car, which she doesn't own. Please. I listened to her sob for a solid minute. Then I said, Brenda, do you remember when I was 16 and I broke my leg playing soccer? Dad wasn't home and you told me to walk it off because you didn't want to drive me to the hospital? I walked on a broken leg for 4 hours until Dad got home. That was years ago, she screamed. What does that have to do with this? Nothing, I said. I just wanted to remind you that I learned how to handle pain from you. Now it's your turn to walk it off. I hung up and blocked the number. I'm keeping the house. I'm turning the guest room, the one she tried to force me into a gaming room. Don't mess with a quiet man's father.
And that brings this record to a close. You've been listening to Reddit Records. We dig up the internet's most intense stories and bring them to you every single day. If you made it this far, do me a favor, scroll down and hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel more than you know, and it guarantees you won't miss the next video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next entry.